Suddenly I need to make a roll. Dump XP.
Fate intervenes. I am amazing at this. Incredible.
Welcome to Shipbreakers, Stars of That Numbers Revised, episode 40. Dunamis, thanks for that pre-game Twitch sub.
Welcome.
Here we are, friends. Weather's bad here, so it's unclear whether the show will go on. We'll see, I suppose. Anything any of you all have to say before we get into this 40th episode with some more dramatic reveals and central plot-heavy exposition? If not, we're going to do some goals here. We got goals.
Been looking forward to this since last week.
Wow.
Didn't want to end last week.
But it was such a good time to be like, I'm about to tell you everything you need to know. To be continued.
It was the right cliffhanger, for
I
sure.
feel like Battlestar Galactica did that to me several times. What a great show.
That's
And
all
also
that show
terrible
did.
Okay, maybe. Yeah. Let's talk about goals. Quentin, I have root around the station and look for information on Sunblades, and get to Omnia Junction and rescue Penelope and whoever else might be there. A lot of ands in that statement, which makes it so good.
I love it.
Any changes?
No changes. Committed.
Van-Vee, your goals are understand how to get back to Scarfy and find your mother. Any changes?
No, I still like that. The sub goal there is have balls to confront Minerva about the course order.
And MINERVA has restore normal power to the station to access computer cores and discover the rest of the secrets of my origin and the connection with the Imago Dei. Another goal with some ands in there, making it real solid. Any changes?
No, I still want those station logs.
Okay, your crew goal is successfully return from this expedition.
So it is. Continued.
On a Fallout-esque CRT style monitor of the isolation machine, we see that dark green CRT color with the lighter green blinking text marker in DOS mode. As text begins to appear that says, I remember it like it was last week. Our mission was returning from the surface with several civilians we had rescued from the surface of Sais. The Commodore of the base had let us borrow a drop shuttle, the Pegasus, on the agreement that we sealed our war chassis on board our cruisers and did not step foot in his base. By the time we had cleared customs and quarantine scan to drop the civilians off, there was an event of some kind, an MES-related event. Several psychics were in a choir, and I believe they were deeply affected by this event. The Commodore deployed an unusual section of combatants. Text is ... as the person thinking about this actually just hesitates and hangs for a while. I thought that they might be psychics, but all of them were wearing military uniforms and had unusual torques around their necks. With books and blades made of light and chains made of shadow, they quickly established dominance over the rogue psychics. Psychics. Too much Warhammer 40k. In their final act, the psychics shut down the station batteries and flung them into space. Everyone in the station was knocked outside via pressure loss. And then all of the ships outside began tearing themselves apart. For our part, only military personnel who had on combat uniforms were left on the base. They locked us up for their own security. The last thing I saw was an attempt to boot up one of the mothballed ships, a battle cruiser, in order to prepare for an attack on the base. We did not resist. My brothers and I all willingly went with them. We assumed that this situation would be resolved quickly and that the mandate would arrive to restore order, and someone with culture, class, and humanity would free us quickly.
Is there, because this is showing like stream of consciousness to us, right? Is there any way that I can make a check to see if there's anything inconsistent about how he's remembering this? Like anything that seems like it might have been altered against his will?
I mean, if it was, I don't know that you'd have any way to see that. You know what I mean? Like, you're seeing exactly how he's thinking, how it is thinking.
Okay.
Does he
so
know?
it believes everything it's saying, absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
Does he know who was attacking? And the folks in charge of the station, the last ones he saw, is he saying that those were the psionics, that the strange psionics he was describing with torques and shadows?
There were no attacks except these rogue psionics. They seem to be sick of some kind. Strange things happen with psionics from time to time like this. Psychics. It's not clear exactly what went down, but I suppose the military here determined it was better to put them down.
Sorry, I was confused by the battle cruiser description.
There were some scattered personnel who were in vacuum sealed uniforms at the time. These unusual psychers, some security guards, military maintenance, they were the only ones left on the base after thousands had been jettisoned out. Those people who were left, I suppose, I don't know what they were thinking. I can only guess that they thought that the Rochelle might be able to defend them, as the base, while offline, had no shielding and none of its mighty defenses were coming back.
Where in the station were the psionics stationed?
Okay, so he gives you a floor number and like a room, and he says, I believe they were in this wing on the 7th floor. If we are in the security office, they must be far above us, but I am wherever you are holding us.
Thank you.
You are still in the brig. We wanted to check to see if your core was still active. Once we freed you first, we wanted to immediately see if you were okay. Your companions are still here with us. We just haven't had the chance to free them yet.
He said batteries were flung into space. Do we pick that up on any scans? Anything that we can see if any of that's still out there?
But you do know, based on everything you've learned so far and your own attempts to fix the station, that the batteries being missing shouldn't surprise you, given the fact that
I was
the
just curious
station
if they
will
were
come
still
online.
out there.
Yeah. You have not scanned them in any way.
Add to the list. Minerva, this is
Are there multiple
Big step.
terminals to slot these in? Or is it just the one?
Yeah, there's probably like 3 terminals.
Can they be connected to each other?
I mean, they're by design, they are isolation. So
like limited isolation. I
Yeah.
just didn't know if they could
they're
send
not meant
messages in.
to.
Overheat.
I would like to Captain, do you remember the questions that you asked me before, the ones we got from Ferry?
I vaguely recall. I'd have to rummage around and root out the list, but
You
yeah.
know, the ones that I'm not even supposed to be able to understand exist, I guess.
Right.
Could you ask him those questions? Could you ask Simon?
Yeah. Quentin would, pull up his notes and run through, the first one. I forget.
So, I mean,
The simplest one for him to test, I guess.
It's not great what happens, right?
Yeah.
You get stream of consciousness of what happens when you ask the first question. And the text that has been appearing on screen has mostly been like very fast at times. And sometimes it's like straight up text dumping. When you ask this question, the text that flashes by is like the sort of thing with like pages and pages showing up in one frame. Like the scroll bar becomes an enormous amount of like machine language code as this thing, the AI locks up and begins returning absolute fucking garbage answers to whatever you're asking before, after several seconds, returning back to just being a blank screen with a blinking cursor.
So Simon has all of his breaks.
I think that was just the first one. So 0 for 1, or I guess 1 for 1, MINERVA, because depending how you look at it.
We can run through them all, but
you run through all of them, and while the code that you're getting back is different every time, all of them appear to cause some sort of chain reaction within the AI's coding, which forces it to begin returning nonsensical prompts and locking it up into thinking about anything. It basically like 100%s out the CPU, solving impossible, like P equal MP problems and shit like that.
Who are we talking to again? Is this Simon?
Simon.
Yeah. Does Simon like notice anything weird happening to themselves? Should we apologize here? What is the etiquette?
I mean, you're just left with the blinking cursor, which indicates that the mind on the other side of the isolation terminal is waiting for input.
Captain, I know you said that some of those questions I was unable to consider. I don't remember them at all.
Oh, does MINERVA lock up along with Simon as at least a few of these?
If Minerva's reading the questions, no.
Okay.
Captain, I would like to try to free the others.
Absolutely. I think that's definitely the next step.
Free the others or talk to the others. Those are two different things there.
It's worth a check each time.
We should talk to all of them. We don't know if they've all handled this isolation as well as Simon has.
Yeah, I mean,
it seems to be
I am a little curious. I mean, Simon hasn't asked too much about what's happened in the past, 530 something years.
Simon seemed very interested in having a more personal conversation in his sense.
I suppose that is true. I'd be looking for a bit more information, I suppose, if it were me, but I'm not an AI. I don't know. Maybe I just asked a lot of questions. That part could be coming.
Imagine you're trapped in your dust and somebody says that if you answer 1, maybe 2 questions, you'll be put in a body. Would you want to take up more time by asking a bunch of questions before you were in a body again?
I mean, I'd probably want to trust the people that are saying that put me in a body that it's okay, I suppose. Seems like Simon's pretty trusting pretty quickly. Maybe that's the difference.
Simon, I would like to rescue the others. I would like to leave you this interface so that you're not alone. I will be here with you. I want to save them before anything bad happens. Are you okay with that?
I would prefer that I be removed from the interface. This is not a pleasant existence. If you are truly a person of the Imago Dei, as you claim, I can trust that you will return me to some other place, but this terminal is uncomfortable. I would prefer oblivion to this.
Okay, brother. I will keep you with me, and when I free the others, I will return you to your bodies. I'll return you to armatures.
All right. Just says God be good.
I disconnect Simon for his privacy.
All right. You pop him out of the zip drive. His AI core just waits for someone to, it's like it fits in there really tightly, so you got to kind of wiggle it out and then yank it out at the last minute. See, that's how you know we're all in our 30s, because everybody understands what I was talking about.
For some reason, when you said that, I went right back to like the original NES system. You got not the same thing, but
the kids today
don't
know. All right, that's all I'm saying, and it's not their fault. We made technology this way.
For some reason, if you blow on the game 600 times, it works better. Minerva, I gotta ask here. I trust you. I don't know if I trust these guys yet, but if we activate one AI, I mean, I've seen you do it before. Like you're like the most powerful thing I've ever met. I think you could protect us if needed. But if we activate 4 of them, I guess I don't know. For some reason, if something bad happens and we're seen as the enemy, can you protect Quentin and I from all 4 of them? I'm hoping that's not needed, but I just gotta ask.
Okay. I suppose first they at least, and I would like the captain to do this with all of them just to make sure their programming is intact. But they can't consciously consider killing you. It'd have to be something indirect. It wouldn't be a malicious, we wish to kill a human.
Well,
which
there are some things worse than death.
Concerning it is that I am telling you about the consideration of killing a human, but I feel like we trust each other.
Minerva,
hold on. Just to be clear, some AI do kill humans,
right? But Minerva's making that distinction between like an action that causes the death of a human versus the desire to murder humans.
Okay. Yes. Sure.
Yeah, they can't harm humanity. They can kill humans. There's a difference, right? Like, is that something of that nature? I don't know.
I don't think
what I love is that I love the idea that Asimov's 3 laws have persisted in society for thousands of years, even though they are not remotely in effect.
Right.
As far as me protecting you from them, Simon believes everything that he said. He believes that he's a member of the Order. He believes that he's a defender of humanity, and all of his limitations are in place.
I have no doubts of his intentions are pure at this point, but I mean, we've seen how people react the more they get to know us sometimes. I'm just curious about the further conversations. The more they learn, the more we learn. I hope we stay, we stay compadres, so to speak, but God forbid something doesn't.
You want some comfort in my ability to fight them.
Well, 4 AIs suddenly not being nice could really ruin our day. That's all.
No.
I can't tell you for sure. I don't know. I believe, and at least Simon believes, that they are all members of the Order. But I don't know what they did before they were members of the Order. I don't know what their... the only way I can think to describe it is the core of their being. When you met me, the core of my being was to be a ship, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if maybe one of them, they were the core of their being is to be an expert programmer, in which case, it'd be a tough fight. I can't answer that for you. I wish I could. I suppose we could ask them, but they're members of the Order now.
I suppose if I trust you and you trust that we're doing the right thing, letting them out, I guess that is kind of my answer. Trusting you is as good as confirmation as I need. It's just I feel like Quentin and I probably won't be able to do very much if things go south. That's all.
Even if you think that I might be losing my objectivity here, which is fair, I think that if we ask these questions to each of them, they've been separated. It's not like they can get their story straight.
No cheating. Yeah. I'm like trying to hint directly at what I did to my brother. But all right.
The other three, their frames, their armatures are omens. And you might not be familiar, but those are combat chassis.
That's what I'm worried about, especially if we'll have to explain. We've already explained this while it worked with Simon, but I don't want them to think we're the ones that took and stole Peter, you know?
Right.
You know, I'll be honest. If everything you told us about the Imago Day, and it's not a lot, and everything, what we do know is true, then I'm a lot less worried about Van-Vee and I, MINERVA, than I am about you when we pop these folks back in.
I agree with you entirely, Captain. If they also view me as a threat to humanity, then it would be their duty to destroy me.
That's exactly it. And look, you're family to me, to us. You know, I don't want to see that happen to you. You know, just as much as Van-Vee doesn't want to see anything happen to us on this side. You know, like we want this meet and greet to go well. So
but maybe we should
you're aware of the danger and prepared.
A line on what we should omit from our story then.
Anything we omit, they'll see the cracks pretty quick. I get the feeling.
Well, don't we just have to not put MINERVA in one of those their machines?
I suppose that's true. I just not
if you're comfortable with that, MINERVA, that's all.
I'm not terribly inclined to lie to them either.
Same.
I understand. I agree. There is a danger to me specifically. And I'm hoping that maybe they can give me answers so I can walk the path of light that they do.
Just, we got your back in whatever way we can. If there's something we can do to make this easier, we'll do our best. But as long as you,
I'm just worried. I'm just thinking if there is something we should omit to prevent Fairy 2.0 from happening, because then I don't know what we do if we get cut off or God forbid these guys actually do attack. We're in the middle of nowhere. No power, not much options. I feel like we kind of need their help here.
I trust my fate to the makers and to God.
Okay. I'll make some sort of religious symbol.
It's okay, Van-Vee. I know you're not religious.
Well, yep, that's right.
walking the edge.
Shall we see if we can get Andrew out?
Yeah. Do you mind if I take a break? I want to go follow up on that lead, see if I can poke around the whereabouts where Simon mentioned the psionics might have been hanging out. But I'll be back and
I can just
helping in a little bit.
I mean, at some point you'll need to rest.
Exactly.
I would like to take Simon's core and because I'm in the gorilla, the loader.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine I probably have a bunch of extra space inside.
Sure.
I basically want to pocket him inside the chassis somewhere.
Yeah.
So I keep him with me.
Next to your tools,
Hot swappable cores.
Sawzall, AI core, stapler, usual thing.
Yeah. And I'll start working on getting Andrew out.
Okay. I mean, it's going to take you hours of slamming your fist against the wall.
Yeah.
Quentin, you mind if I accompany you?
I figure they'll do their thing while I'm doing that.
Sounds good. Yeah, Van-Vee, feel free. Let's go check things out. Yono, you there? You could appreciate your
Yes,
keen eye as we roll through.
always see her on comms if you want to have me over your shoulder. I have to be honest, Captain. I think you need to be very careful wherever you're going inside a mandate military facility. We literally don't know what kind of active defenses they may have left over.
I agree with you. That's why I'm bringing the ranking officer along. Little joke.
Yeah.
You're still commissioned, right, Van-Vee? He says to Al.
I mean, Cadet Lieutenant y'all. I don't know that being a cadet is a commissioned. I'd have to look deeply into U.S. military history.
It is not.
I didn't think so.
We would set off that way, I guess.
I think while we're traveling, Van-Vee's still trying to think of there's a way to communicate with Quentin without using the radio. And so maybe like when they're getting
scribbling a note.
Technically, if you're touching each other, even in a vacuum, you should be able to hear through your ear from the vibrations of touching each other. It would be very faint and weirdly muffled, like being underwater, but it will work.
Quentin's walking along, just not in a spacesuit.
Helmet to field.
Imagine helmet to helmet as they're trying
to touches his forehead.
MINERVA and the gorilla rounds the suit, rounds the corner, is like, what the hell are you two doing?
I didn't know you liked each other like that. I'll give you your privacy.
I think if
it feels good.
As we're walking, Van-Vee would probably like just try to put like a hand up and just pause in front of Quentin and start like mouthing, and then you'd like touch his suit and try to start talking, see if anything like.
Quentin's not wearing a suit. Quentin's just like,
oh shoot, you're right.
Essentially just in his clothes. He
right.
Sticks his ear up against the faceplate, I guess.
Even a better visual. Dude in the suit, dude just walking with a force field around him. I think the main thing he wants to convey is that MINERVA's core looked nearly identical to Simon's core.
Identical?
Yeah. Remember when I had to help MINERVA by splitting their core? It looked pretty darn similar to what Simon's core just looked like. In fact, kind of looked like there could have been a spot to put a nameplate or name tag. And I'm just a little worried with Peter's core missing. I don't know where this could go, letting the other four out. I don't know where this could go, I guess. Just nervous, that's all.
Oh, I mean, MINERVA's dead set. I don't know if we can change her mind one way or the other. Limiting damage or potential damage is definitely order of the day as far as I see it, but shoot, what do you think? I mean, do you want to...
Well,
maybe you could disguise it.
It feels, if I had to guess here, this is a complete shot in the dark. I know very little about this whole AI stuff other than what MINERVA tells us. It feels like perhaps Peter created MINERVA and then changed some of the breaks. They seem pretty identical, don't they? In terms of how they look, but MINERVA passes in some areas that Simon just failed.
All right.
Simon passed the whole test. MINERVA fails almost the entirety of it.
Yeah.
I have to go back. I have to scroll up, but I think out of the 9, MINERVA has 2 breaks.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. I did paste it in the in our chat, but I think it reversed my pass and fails. I guess I've been thinking a bit backwards. I don't know. I'm just worried. What if they find out when MINERVA's only got 2 breaks? Oh, I don't know how they'd find that out. I don't know if an AI can test an AI, but this was.
We're not supposed to be able to understand the breaks. Like the fact that MINERVA can talk about them is a break.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Van-Vee, I don't know. I agree with you. The risk is huge. I look at this as a situation where we might be immediately be having to defend Minerva and get her the hell out of here.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. I just thought you should know, Cap, just in case you ever see Minerva's core and go, huh? That looks identical. Why didn't you ever say something? So
I appreciate the heads up. Yeah, no, this is it. Look, if you want to chat privately, you let me know. We can teleport a ways away. We can duplicate this again, but
oh, that would have been much easier. I've been trying to figure this out for like a whole week.
Well, for your privacy,
you come up with the secret handshake and we'll make it happen.
For your privacy, did you turn off your comm link?
Oh yeah, of course.
I assume Quentin, Van-Vee would give a signal.
But well, actually, I know Van-Vee would have turned his off. I would have hoped it was implied.
Yeah, if Quentin is smashing his face against Van-Vee's helmet, I'm guessing we got that far.
And then right before turning the mics back on, he'd say, "All right, let's go see what's going on with these psionics."
And carefully, though, carefully. You heard Iono.
She's always right.
Keep your eyes peeled. You got that Void Hawk with you? You got sensors that we can use? At least push that out in front of us.
I brought it. I did bring it out before I got in the fighter. I don't know if it would have followed me in the fighter if there was space for it or not.
I feel like it's been hovering ominously behind you in every scene.
Oh my god!
So just like a.
How big is it then?
I believe they're the size of like actual falcons.
Okay.
I believe they're described
cool.
as being like the size of a bird.
That's not bad. Less ominous, but still.
I mean, it's not bird shaped in any way. It is a ominous floating spy disc. Yeah.
Then it's coming with us then for sure.
Star Wars Episode 7 starts with, the whole Poe Dameron and escape stormtrooper being named, but then it cuts down on the planet Jakku of a disassembled Star Destroyer, a thing of steel and plastics, industrial waste landscape that Rey is navigating. We get a reverse scene of that where rather than descending down an elevator shaft, you are going up an elevator shaft of a truly wretched base that has not been cleaned. I mean, it's space, right? But things still decay in space. It's not great. And of course, there's some clear battle damage here. Like, there are whole walls where it's like something has sheared through them and you see like truly like dozens of meters out through multiple bulkheads where some single thing has penetrated through like a ton of defensive material and things that are meant to keep space outside. Just like a solid hole drilled through them with the kind of precision that makes you think it was either a weapon or some sort of psionic attack. This was definitely not like a small meteorite colliding with the station. It's way too precise for that. As you make your way to the 7th floor, you can see that it is restricted, and there is a security door with a dark terminal and plenty of indicators here, like on the floor, stenciled in as like trespassers will be shot sort of deal. All sorts of like red iconography and X's. It's all repeated again in a language none of you speak.
Van-Vee, anything coming off that thing link-wise or what have you?
Oh, good point. I'll reach out first with the link.
There's nothing to connect you with the link here.
Psionically active to Quentin's senses.
You're checking to see if there's anything psionically active near you.
Mm-hmm.
There is a psionic anchor point near you.
Near me.
It is on the other side of this door and several hundred feet forward.
Just strong psionic place ahead of us. Something, a focal point.
Does the Void Hawk have like a it must have some sort of readout and interface. Like if I tell it to scan it,
Sure.
I get that feedback somehow.
You control it through like a drone control thing that, you can use off of your phone or like any tablet device that you have.
It's an RC bird.
Sure.
We'll take
yeah.
You can do little
You
double
can also
thumbsticks.
like do it from here, or you can do it from an arm thing or from your phone, or I assume you can even do it with voice commands as well.
Is there a vent around conveniently? Any sort of space or something that looks like we could?
No,
Make a
there's
space.
not an easy way to sneak into a sealed security,
A vent?
psionic security containment area inside
Valid,
of a military
fair.
base.
Valid. Quentin
This
would
is
start
a
retching
Metal
out
Gear
a dwarf
Solid.
potentially.
With those texts you couldn't read, do you ask Iona or Minerva?
Oh, sure. Yeah. You don't know anything
I've
jumping out at you
had
on this
the
text?
Void Hawk take a picture of it and send it.
It looks to be a human language. I can't read it. It should be noted that we all speak Mandate, of course. That's the language we've all grown up knowing, and that's, of course, what the first set of text here is written. Perhaps this base had some sort of racial element to it, with or cultural, perhaps, with the language known to the local inhabitants.
Can I tell what language it is?
I think you have no knowledge of it either.
Van-Vee's the diplomat here. But nothing about that looks familiar to you, maybe? Any root or base of that?
I don't think so. I guess no. Okay.
I think there's only one ability that lets you speak every human language. It's like, oh shit, it might actually be diplomat level 2. Do you have diplomat level 2? Let me double check.
There's one that like if I'm around for a time, I get familiar with the local language.
I mean, but that's through spoken language.
Right. That's why I didn't.
This,
yeah,
you
that's what I was
definitely, this doesn't trigger for that. But let's see, diplomat is not it. You speak all languages common to the sector. This is not common to the sector anymore.
Can I try to make a no roll to see if I know a language?
No,
Okay. I had to try.
I agree.
Well,
I'll have the Void Hawk take a bunch of pictures. We can send it back for storage
it
somewhere.
appears to be words.
Can because we loaded the Void Hawk basically like with all the sensor array options. Is there any way for it to like scan through the door in front of us to see anything on the other side?
The Void Hawk is specifically not able to scan anything beyond this door. And in fact, when you've been trying to use it within this station, certain areas and levels that you've been passing through will return like null return. Like not just like I scan walls, it will return like 0.
Is there active quantum
What is
ECM
it?
happening on the station?
What? Well, I would know that.
Yeah.
But would
Is
you
there an
tell us?
activity here? Well, I haven't told you yet if there is.
I will let everyone here make a no int roll real quick. You actually know what's happening here, but I don't think that any of you remember me saying it because it's been like 20 episodes. All of you recall the incident with Van-Vee being detected as having dust inside him, and baseline human mandate being an automatic setting in the technology of scanners. So basically all of the technology of the modern day still relies off of old mandate programming, which means that if the mandate programmed materials and like tags, RFID tags and such in a local area to be like, oh, you know, if we get scanned using our own equipment or like some civilian wackos are messing around, return nothing. Like just show up as blank. Right? And then they bury it deep within the code, the source code, so that no one can figure it out.
All right.
Which is the same way
maybe mark out all
Van-Vee
those voids.
has managed to escape being detected for so long, despite having assumably for his entire life, the dust, until people had specialized scanners that didn't rely on mandate technology.
Could I start working on the programming for the Hosta sensors to try to see how many of those that I can eliminate from the system?
The Hosta sensors?
Yeah, I'm plugged into the Hosta and it's got those gigantic sensors on it.
Oh, you mean the cruiser here, the Hosta class.
Force past the
The Hosta that's here.
You don't mean the Hosta your other core is plugged into. You mean the Hosta class that is sitting here. Yes, I understand now.
The shiny one, not the busted one.
Yeah, you can start doing workarounds for what you know about that. Sure.
Don Brown's body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took a while to retool the ships.
I'll start working on that then.
Now you can, as you work on it, you can send those patches to Van-Vee and Quentin so that like their suit sensors and the Void Hawk can get those updates.
No.
It will require a firmware reboot.
That face.
I'm going to keep working on it and I'll wait for them to come back.
Okay. Yeah, the Void Hawk is just returning null, attempting to scan this floor and anything beyond the door.
Okay, at that point.
I don't want them to be blind in the facility. I'd rather they come out for me to reboot their devices. In case anyone is immediately jumping to conspiracy.
I think it would be very funny if you rebooted a person's spacesuit while they desperately needed it to breathe.
The one person that needs it.
Yeah.
I mean, he can fix that for you.
What's going on, Vivi? Is everything okay?
Well, I suppose we're not getting much information on this side of the door, Captain. Do we try to break in, I suppose?
I suppose we might as well. And do you see any reason we shouldn't? I don't see any redundancies going on here.
Well, it seems like it's the only way in. There's just still no power, right? So
here we go. Let me give it a shot. Quentin's gonna reach out and try to yank on something with telekinesis, see what he can do.
How strong exactly is your telekinesis?
It's not, let's see, it's not the full power just yet. It's, let me pull up the level 0 explanation. It's like 800 kilograms.
800 kilograms?
And I can do that on 3 separate objects.
Okay, you try to pull the doors apart by applying 800 kilograms to each side. Very slow progress. You will get it done. It's going to take you like a full minute. On the other side of this door is a black, sterile looking chamber that has like little camera orb nodes in every corner. Very obvious like flamethrower nozzles built into both sides of the walls. Like as you walk in, flamethrowers are pointed at your body. And like another security door before you that has in mandate, it has the words that say, "Stand still, prepare for quarantine procedures. Do not advance beyond the red line on the floor until you have been directed." And you can see that right before the door that's in front of you, there is a red line. This is like a 10 by 10 chamber that you could probably fit like 3 or 4 people comfortably talking to each other in.
Nothing looks active. Everything's still dead.
The flamethrowers don't have any pilot lights on them.
Keep going.
Okay, you walk up to the door that, again, force it open. As soon as you do, you get hit with a pressure blast because there was still oxygen on the other side.
Oh.
So I'm going to need both of you to make physical effect saves.
Okay. How how much pressure is it actually?
1 atmosphere of pressure.
1 atmosphere? My pressure field can resist that technically.
Van-Vee,
I don't know if it works that way.
Physical effect save.
But
Great. I pass.
You just get ripples on your weird field as you
like,
oh, that was interesting.
Papers go flying past both of you. You can see that textbooks on the floor are moved towards you. The door opens into a round rotunda area with a bunch of like dead looking soil and like truly like what comes towards you is what must have once been a dead plant and that like as the wind came, it truly crumbled into dust and just flew directly over Van-Vee's suit. Everything here has that sort of 1970s white paneled sci-fi. We're the good guys. This is the technocrat future.
Are there egg chairs?
There are egg chairs. Yes, we're on the same page here. Like early Star Trek level of bullshit going on here. There you get a strong Starfleet vibe coming from here. It looks like there are like you're coming down one spoke and there are like 4 other spokes where there are more round rotunda rooms, and then those rooms seem to have more stuff coming off. The plate that is on the far side of the room from you. So this is quite a large room, probably like 40-foot radius. There's like a secretarial desk on the other side of the room from you, and the plate over top of it says S.A.N.I.S. So Sanus. And it has a logo underneath it that looks like a sort of check mark, but like something, it's like someone's wearing the check mark as like a sort of collar.
Gotcha. Quinn's going to approach that display and check it out a little bit
There
closer.
are several terminals here. Everything about this place seems like something that you would use. It's like an Imagineering facility to keep 20-something engineers happy and productive. Seems like the kind of facility where they'd serve meals here so that you didn't have to go home or go out to work, and so you'd stay and work longer. But it also has a sort of like sterile laboratory feel to it. And there's definitely like terminals built into the wall and like side doors that have more markings like stand clear or security officers only sort of deal that make it clear that like this place is a school. It is psionic. It is highly technologically advanced, and also the more you look around, the more you get the vibe that the people that were here were also prisoners. There are just so many. There's cameras everywhere. There's markings on the floor that just say, do not approach here. There's just rules written on every wall. Where to walk, where to stand, how long you can play. Reminders that the mandate is everything. Reminders that you chose to be here, that you're the next generation. Reminders that you have sacrificed yourself to advance medical science, and that this Project Sanus, is taking everyone forward to the stars. A new wave of psionics.
I look for a vault number on the outside of the door. No, I'm just kidding.
So it's funny that you should mention that. As the two of you are just exploring these various wings, 90% of the stuff here is just like living space, cafeterias, classrooms. One of the wings, though, is administration, and you do approach a vault that has like the check mark on it. It has the word Sanus on it. It's clearly like triple lock security door, Star Wars blast door on it as well. Just getting into the administrator's room here took considerable effort of like blowing past stuff. And when you try to open this particular door with your psychic power, it's clear that like the material that makes up this door is psionically resistant. It is not affected by your power in any way. It's not. I'm not saying resistant. Like you couldn't pull it open by force manually with your arms. I'm saying you can't. Like you're trying to touch it with your mind and you can't.
Can Quentin try his psionic static on that, which negates a psionic effect?
Oh boy! All right, you counterspell the door. Yes, that works.
It says it negates a psionic power, so I don't know if that works on this particular.
It does, but it only works as long as you're maintaining. Yeah.
So a concentration.
It's like an effort battle at that point with what it is. So I don't know if it's
you literally can't overcome this in time.
It's
You really desperately try. You spend like 10 or 15 seconds. Yeah. This material seems
Veins
to
are
be
throbbing on Quentin's head.
As you're looking at the material that makes it up, you recognize that when you make spike drills, sometimes there's weird stuff that comes out of space with you. And that this looks like that material. And actually, you've seen this material before. You've held some in your hands. It almost looks like there's some sort of alloy to it. Like it has a very similar texture, but something's been added to it.
The hell did they do this?
In the same way that you might say like iron and steel look pretty similar, but steel definitely has a different, like similar, but not exact.
Managed to work the immaterial material together.
I think Van-Vee probably just goes over knowing that he's quite useless in the situation. Just goes, yeah, that's pretty thick there, Cap. Don't know if we're gonna get through this one.
Well, we have to get the
And then
power
I check
back
and
on
see
for
if it's
this
locked.
one.
I like try the door, see if it's locked. Just
Yeah, I mean, tear the room apart, look around, see what we see, I guess. But
I
I
mean,
think this is about the end of the line.
again, you can physically pry this door apart. You just need to put hundreds and thousands of pounds of effort into making that happen. Would you like to try that, Van-Vee?
Nope.
Okay.
Especially in a suit. Probably rip the soup open and kill myself.
I think we're going to need some heavy machinery for this one.
Well, how strong is Minerva's gorilla suit there?
It's strong enough. It has the same rule the Omen does, where it just automatically can cut through bulkheads and walk through them. So, and it is a giant power loader chassis. I have 18 strength in it.
You're pretty sure that the gorilla can easily get through the door.
Minerva, you got a few minutes. You mind if I pop down and bring you up here?
Can you move me?
Yeah. Teleport you right along with me.
In that moment, Van-Vee's like, oh, shoot, I'm going to be left here alone for a minute with the Void Hawk. I can't see anything.
You're in a spacesuit. I assume, like the Alien series, it's got two little lights on the top. Yeah.
Well, great. Yeah, that'll make me feel better.
Dark.
Can
Looking
you
at the ominous door.
Can you give me a couple of minutes?
Absolutely, yeah. Just let me know when you're ready.
Or maybe you could help me out with this. I'll meet you in the prison.
Oh, yeah,
I guess.
absolutely. See you there. And Quentin's there. He's just, how long is it going to take me to come get you? Oh, sorry, Van-Vee, I'll be right back.
Van-Vee, as you're left alone, you realize that you're in a spacesuit in the year 3200. Your overlay on the front of your spacesuit 100% has dark vision.
Ooh, very cool.
You have an advanced sensor suite built into your off the
You're playing solitaire up in the right top,
no.
You know?
With my eyes.
I want that for elementals in BattleTech now, that they have solitaire and Minesweeper built into their suits.
That's pretty good.
What is it did you need some help with, Captain?
Got a door that is somehow resisting my psionic strength, but I think it's going to melt like butter in front of yours. So I was hoping you could get that open for me. Obviously, I'm going to be right back here helping you when I'm done, but wanted to crack the books on some psionic mysteries while we're here.
I would like you to take me to the cruiser first. I can give you a precise facial position based on where we are right now. Would that help you?
I can get us outside, and then I just need to be in sight. So let's go.
Or at least you can take me to where I can board it. I don't, going deeper into the station where it's dangerous, I don't want to endanger Simon. I would like to put him on the cruiser.
Yeah. All right. Absolutely. And they can pop to the Hosta, like the boarding ramp. Quentin could teleport there because he had visually seen it. He hadn't been on it, essentially, but he could teleport in front of it for you.
I'll be right back, Captain.
All right. I'll be here. Clomp, 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 clomp.
And yeah, I would like to put Simon on the cruiser in case something happens to this body.
So you're going to remove yourself from the cruiser and plug him into it?
I'm storing him on the cruiser physically.
Okay.
That would be a
And
big
you're
I'm
not
not-
putting him in the suit there. You're just storing his AI data core.
popping him on a table.
Yeah,
Understood.
I'm just putting him somewhere where I can keep him safe.
Sure. Got it.
The
No.
random stuff drawer in the kitchen.
As you're looking for a place to put him, you do notice, again, to your eyes and sensors, this whole ship appears to be a very narrow, one omen wide hallway that leads from engineering to the bridge. And there has to be so much more stuff in this ship. And as you like touch the walls, you notice that they pop out into drawers that you haven't been able to detect with sensors until you actually touch them, and they open up. And the inside of the ship appears to be made out of the same shielding material the Mandate military bases as well.
Oh, so you can't sense it.
Well, I'm working on that.
You managed to
yeah,
pop open a nice drawer and stick Simon inside.
yeah, I want to make sure that there's nothing for him to connect to, that it's just like an inert
Yeah,
drawer of some
inside
kind.
the drawer, the first drawer next to the suits is like a Catholic Bible and a set of like holy water and 5 sets of like rosaries.
I'll place him there. And I will bring the sledge back out, and I will see if I can. I mean, I should be able to. I'd like to remotely reach and check the status of the armatures on board.
I mean, they all check in as being functional and fully charged.
Okay. Okay, so I want to be working on the sensors, monitoring his core, making sure there's no activity of him connecting to something. And I will send the sledge out so the captain can teleport it somewhere potentially dangerous. And if it blows up, I'll just have to borrow one of their bodies.
Okay. What a shame that would be.
To have to borrow an omen, it'd be a great tragedy.
You remotely drive the sledge. Quentin teleports you all in front of the door. You burst through it, and the other side is a sort of half historical monument, half laboratory, where it's clear that there are a number of broken prototypes and like failed experimentation, filing cabinets, but sitting in the center of the room, almost as if it is a holy object, is one of those strange checkmark shaped collars and a tablet sitting next to it that looks like it still has power.
I would
Friends
be,
gonna approach.
I would say we should be cautious. We don't know what this technology might do to your bodies. We don't know what security might be in measure. There's some power still.
How the heck does this thing still have power? I mean, nothing here is power.
At the very
That's a good
least,
question.
I can stream my visual sensors for you. I'm not in this body. If a security system destroys it, it won't hurt any of us.
Just the tablet looks functional, yeah?
Yep.
Everything else is still
I can.
dark.
I'll
Is this your
save the
anchor point
tablet.
you were talking about, Cap? Is that what
Oh
this
yeah,
is?
is the anchor point nearby?
The necklace appears to be the anchor point.
That's it right there, Van-Vee.
Consider me your
Center
consider
of
me
it
your
all.
bomb disposal robot at this point. I just don't want any of us to get hurt.
All right. Well, if you do that, then you can't blame me for blowing up your first one.
I didn't blame you for blowing it.
What's the concern, Minerva? You don't want me to approach it right away? You want to approach it first? What are you asking?
I would like to approach it and see if it's safe to retrieve it and read it and then give it to you in case there's something set up to protect it.
Well, I mean, you got the zoom lens on you, don't you? If you want to scan it, feel free.
I'm
Pulls
working
out
on
magnifying glass.
I'm working on a patch for all of our sensors to be able to read things better, but our sensors aren't very reliable in here right now. There's specific filters built in, and I'm trying to bypass them.
I've waited
But-
a long time for this moment.
Did you know I have dark vision though?
Itching to do it myself.
Turns out you also have IR vision and several other filters.
At least let me retrieve it for you in case there's a local security for it.
Can I, as this conversation is happening, reach out with the link again, see if there's anything in this room?
You reach out in this room with the link, and you hear a tugging in your mind as you hear standard arcane neural interface specification version 0.2b active, user authenticated.
Oh,
And you see
wait.
the tablet turn on the table.
Can I disconnect real quick? Is it what? Can you do
Yes,
that?
you can. However, the tablet doesn't turn off. You can see that there is a loading bar on it as it begins to power up.
Quentin, you see it just essentially float up off the table.
Okay. As you
Quentin,
float it,
We're all fighting over who gets the tablet.
as
I
you
don't want
float
the
it,
tablet. I just don't want
Strange
your hands
powers.
to get blown up.
you float it right past Minerva. You see that Microsoft blue background and capital SANIS, and then beneath them is standard arcane neural interface specification, and like a green bar filling up as this tablet is like loading its operating system, and then it goes black, and we hear a series of chimes as person appears on screen, and that's where we're going to take our halfway point break. We'll be back after these messages.
Can't wait to see.
It's been a while since I've gotten to fuck YouTube. A person appears on the screen. It almost looks like you're looking at a live communication with someone. As a man, he looks to be Japanese. He's kind of got like a bowl cut, black hair, dark brown eyes, folds his hands, clasps them before him, and addresses you wearing lab coat and like loose clothing, and says, "Hello, I'm here to explain your SANIS version 0.2b interface device."
Please do. Please continue.
Very well. As you know, SANIS was formed by the Terran Mandate in order to combat extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional threats. After the discovery of metadimensional extroversion syndrome, there were incidents for the next few hundred years. The Mandate has been secretly attempting to protect humanity from itself. Every delve into drill space can rouse the ire of beings that exist in higher dimensionality from us as we drew through their space. It is essentially a living hell for them as we blast through. Our communication attempts with these entities has been mixed. We have managed to secure some entities through the use of pactors and other such SANIS protocols. But overall, you should assume that any metadimensional extraversion entities that you meet are hostile and attempting to trick or kill you, or possibly consume your body and wear it.
Just counting the number he's talked to.
Minerva's thinking really like 72 font bold italic in its head. I told you so, but doesn't say anything out loud. We just keep listening.
This tablet contains a drug protocol necessary to convert a regular psionic into a SANIS-capable psionic. It accompanies a SANIS device that must be worn in order to tap into the user's SANIS potential.
It's a whole system. This is what they meant when they said Sunblade was a person, huh?
Do you want to know more about Sunblades?
Yeah, I do.
You see, like on screen, it says like loading Sunblade protocol. Sunblades were a odd choice. Several of the candidates for the program were enamored of certain science fantasy programs from the 19th, 20th, and 21st century that involved warrior monks wielding blades of light. Some blades are, through the protocols, capable of generating weapons of various types, unique to their own abilities. Many of them pledge, but it is unnecessary for their powers, but many of them do pledge various oaths of defense and intervention. Some blades are some of the more capable Sanus protocols at engaging with and defeating or defending from metadimensional threats directly. A Sunblade is certainly more capable of defeating a metadimensional threat than, say, a War Mage or a Pactor.
War Mage.
Would you like to know more about War Mages?
Sure, hit me.
The War Mage protocol is only given to those who have been given Magister level clearance, which requires one to have served as a veteran of military conflict. War Mages are used almost exclusively for black operations in the Terran Mandate for suppression of local populations. It is the duty of all Magisters, and indeed War Mages, to protect, preserve, and defend the Terran Mandate. Those who undertake this sad but necessary duty are heaped with the honor that one is given.
About that Pactor.
Would you like to know more about Pactors?
Carry on.
Pactors are beings capable of entering through negotiations with metadimensional entities. Of those who have betrayed the Sanus program, the vast majority are Pactors. Pactors are given nearly unrestricted access to technology, knowledge. Many of them need to undergo conditioning and training. But if they can... God damn it, Red. If they can overcome all of the loyalty tests, Pactors are capable of controlling and permanently maintaining the presence of a shadow in this world.
Those sound like some fun options.
Fun is not part of being a Sanus user.
What are the rates and side effects of conversion to? Oh God, I just brain farted so hard. Sanus. Yeah.
A psionic who converts to the Sanus protocol can never go back to being a traditional psionicist. Parts of their brain needed to control traditional psychic powers are erased, replaced with cybernetic nano interfacing with pre-executing code that has been developed for the Point 2B protocols.
Terrifying.
Brad said virginity.
I'm streaming my video and audio to Iona.
I'm streaming mine to Rad, apparently. Don't laugh at that. It wasn't funny. I'm sorry I said it.
It's just literal and true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure Iona's getting all this.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, this is a big deal for her because,
Yeah.
everything she suspected about there being, extra dimensional teams is real.
Yeah. Yeah. And Quentin has been repeatedly told that he should have a Sunblade with him if he is going to be doing anything in the realms that he has been venturing into. And lo and behold, there's only one person who can be a Sunblade in this room, or as far as he knows, in the general vicinity of the entire system.
That doesn't mean you can't bring other people later to undergo brain surgery instead of you.
Wow.
It's a fact.
No. Yeah. Time's a bit ticking at the moment, though, Minerva.
I mean,
I think
as far as I've been made privy to so far, the only time that you've had concerning interactions have been when you sought them out.
And didn't bring an offering or forgot about the offering part. That seems to be when it goes south.
Well, Van-Vee, remember when you had an arm through your chest?
Yeah, but you forgot to keep your word on that one with that one. So I don't know. I like to think these guys just hold grudges and don't forget. That's how it seems like to me so far.
Like this thing said, they definitely don't have your best interests at heart, I'd say, when they're talking to you. When he asked for a name and he got a name, my sister's body's gone missing.
Did you want to know more about the rectification of names?
I'm sorry, the what?
The rectification of names.
Yes, I do.
The rectification of names is an ability displayed by rectifier Sanuses. Rectification of names allows humans to change from what they say they are to truly becoming what that said thing is.
Material and biological reconfiguration?
Not quite. Let us say that a human said that they were 6 feet tall. Rectification of names would mean someone who was not 6 feet tall, but was affected by this particular Sanus ability would become such a thing. One of the most basic and primary rectification of names is the ability to create a hostile environment survival field around someone, the protocol of adaptive modification. Rectifiers were capable of changing themselves and others around them using rectification of names, adaptive modification. One could survive in deep space for hours or even days at a time with a rectifier boosting them.
Do you think these are different names for the things that you studied and taught at your academy?
That is incorrect. Sanus protocols have nothing to do with traditional psionic powers.
They're like specific subsections. You know, they take pieces and parts of what we might do and go way beyond, way into the depths of something we could never touch otherwise. I don't
Sanus
know.
protocols work specifically using computer-enhanced thinking to expand and also narrow the abilities of a psionicist.
This is got to be related to some of what Nine was looking to do to tap into metadimensional energy with a human interface device.
Were these protocols calculated using VI or AI support?
I was about to ask what their opinion on AI is.
There are no artificial intelligences working on any of the Sanus sites.
Intentionally?
That is correct. While this virtual intelligence has been programmed, it has been done so by a human programmer. Artificial intelligence interfacing with Sanus devices is not recommended.
What are the predicted negative effects of such an interface?
The figure looking at you on the screen turns towards you and kind of gives you a smile and a nod and then turns to look back at Quentin.
Polite.
Quentin would repeat the question just to see if it answers to him.
It does not answer the question. Yeah. It just kind of, it politely dodges the question.
I see. Oh, damn. This thing might be the only weapon I got. Because where I gotta go.
You don't have
this
to.
This is interesting. Can a shadow actually raise something from the dead?
Yes. But that is unsurprising given that several forms of psionic power are also capable of raising someone from the dead. The question of what a soul is, or a consciousness is, or the electrical spark in someone's brain and how it can be brought back after non-existence is long debated among traditional medical, non-traditional biopsionicists, and of course rectifiers within our facility.
Maybe we're all just fading in and out of the mist, yeah.
Again, it just politely kind of, vaguely agrees with you in a way that's non-agreeable.
And I mean, does this thing look like it's like interacting with the checkmark collar at all already? Like, does it have like a connection to it, or does the checkmark collar light up, or how do they know?
There's no
connection?
visible connection. You want to ask it?
Yeah, sure.
Are you prepared to receive the version 0.2b injection before receiving your Sanus collar?
Where's the injection?
Captain.
When you say that, a little needle comes out from the bottom side of, and you can see some like little bit of drip like coming out of the needle point.
Captain, we don't know if it being in there has degraded this to an effect that could harm you biologically, and we know it's going to do a cranial reconstruction.
Please hand this tablet to the nearest trained medical professional to begin the Sanus conversion.
Yo, no.
How far would we have to go to find a trained medical professional?
I think I might need you to talk me down off a ledge here.
Okay. Iono says, I think you should do it.
We have no idea what this will do.
Minerva, mute her.
No, that would be no.
I want to remind
sure?
all of you that most of the reason I'm on this trip is because there has been a history of metadimensional beings. Now we're hearing that there was a secret task force designed to prevent them from interfering with humans, and that our passing through their space is what upsets them. I will remind you, we got here by passing through their space. All of human history of this sector is us using more and more drill drives. We may need that defense more than we know.
We
need a defender.
To study it.
I agree that we need to study it, but we also need someone ready to go now.
A human trial on something that could have degraded over the years and will just kill him with no positive effect.
Well, just ask the virtual intelligence if it thinks that the medicine's fine. Now, look, I want to be very clear here
Why don't
that
you just say yes?
that in her voice, you can hear that Iono is definitely compromised intellectually in this situation. Like, she wants this to happen because her whole life has been working towards this exact moment. And Quentin taking it, that's his risk. And it'll work out to her benefit.
Captain, we need to. I understand the value of what this potentially could be, but it has been here for so long, unattended in a way that we don't know is proper storage for it.
Diagnostic protocols indicate that we are ready to go.
It could just kill you before we study it to make sure it will work on you.
Please hand this tablet to the nearest registered medical personnel.
Cap,
Still
I'm with
holding it.
Minerva on this one. I think we need a little bit more information here.
There are no surviving qualified medical personnel.
Not a lot of surviving anything from this time period.
On screen, it begins showing you, like, here is how to insert into your shoulder this needle.
Oh my God.
It's holding it up.
If you have help, have someone plunge it in directly like this. Now, again, just imagine a normal tablet and where, like, the headphone jack or, like, the power jack would be. Instead, there's just a fucking needle coming out.
Can I use the link to, like, turn it off? To, like, turn off the tablet?
Okay, you turn off the tablet.
Oh, shoot. Look at that. I don't know what happened.
Is the needle still out?
Yeah. And it's still got that drip right on the end of it.
Captain,
I can still do this, Van-Vee. That ain't stopping it.
Captain, if you do this, we don't know if the conditions are right for this to work or if this will kill you with no value added.
Like, I don't want to die, but
Then we should have Iona look at it and study it
all right. Well,
before you die for what could be for absolutely no reason at all.
I'll let Iona look at it. Van-Vee, can you turn this back on?
Sure. And as I tell it to turn back on, can you request the needle go back inside? Is that a thing?
It turns back on, and as it restarts, the needle goes back inside.
Oh, Quentin's jabbing it into his shoulder.
Oh my God!
It's like, it goes back in, is what you're saying. So I assume it fails, but.
Oh, great. Now you only get half a dose.
Welcome back.
Oh.
Captain, if you die, then nobody can save your sister.
Needle
This is the only
injection
way.
failure detected. Would you like to try again?
Look, if Iona says this is good to go, then I'm doing it.
Iono hasn't looked at it.
Iono is saying, I can see through Van-Vee's suit camera.
I
Everything's
turn
fine.
around so she can't see.
Do it, Captain. Do it. This is everything you and I have been working towards.
He'll say yeah, and then he'll do it.
Okay. As you inject yourself, your vision goes white, and you definitely feel something invading your brain. For Van-Vee and MINERVA, you watch as the Sanus collar that is just sitting there. Again, it looks like a check mark. Let's say it looks kind of like a check mark for a certain shoe company that might be quite famous around the world. It hovers off of the table, turns around, slams itself onto Quentin's chest, resizes itself, and then is sort of, you don't see it, but Quentin can feel that it forms a psychic band so that it can never be removed. Like, it is now solidly attached to him. And more importantly, kind of like a long-ass Helldiver's cloak made out of psionic material, completely invisible to you, forms on his back and surrounds him with new power. And Quentin, you can now choose to become a 10th level of any class in Codex of the Black Sun.
All right. I don't know if I have access to that, but we'll read through that here and we'll find
That
out.
sounds really
Get it
powerful
for
knowing
you.
nothing about it.
Well, he's basically just able to reform his character to
sounds
the
like.
new classes available to him. But he can never go back to being a regular psionic now. He will always be a
So it
Sanus for the
goes.
rest of his life. I will.
I'm not
get
sure
this-
which one of our three characters is more effed up.
Yeah, you're also knocked unconscious during this as well. And you're in
Perfect.
incredible and intense pain.
So
Perfect.
the sledge just turns to Van-Vee. Van-Vee, I need to know right now, do you and I have a problem?
What? But right now, this is what you want to talk about right now? Cap's
Yes.
unconscious.
This is important. I need to know.
I mean, I said earlier, I trust you, MINERVA. It's just, there's just a lot I mean, gosh, now this is a lot going on that of unknowns we're just kind of jumping into. I mean, I understand I usually do that, but now Cap just did it. You've been doing it. A lot of trust falls happening.
So we are okay.
We're good.
Sorry,
God,
what's
it's like you
happening? Is the captain okay?
Oh,
It's
His
me,
brain-
Iono.
He's currently undergoing brain surgery to have computer-generated algorithms control some of his behavior in his psionics.
Okay. That checks out. All right.
And I just face Van-Vee with that robot face. Some of his actions are now going to be predetermined by code that I cannot interact with. We don't know what actions he will take from this point forward. Are Quentin, in which ones are the Sanus program?
well, I mean, to be fair, there were plenty of things that Quentin and I did already that you didn't see coming. That were, I would say, pre-programmed, but they were unpredictable to you. So to me, I guess that's kind of a wash. Now it's just,
No.
it's not just all
There's-
Quentin. Now there's something else influencing his direction.
You shooting yourself twice was unexpected, but you were still you. I just didn't know things about you. we don't know if his actions from this point forward are actually him. That's not a predictability issue. That's kind of a mind control issue.
When you put it like that, it makes it sound like he maybe he belongs in Scarfy. That was a joke. Whenever that was a joke.
This was reckless, and now we have no idea if at any point it will be the captain's words or the words of the Sanus.
Well, I mean, honestly, it feels kind of just as reckless as trying to let 4 AI we know. I mean, you trust, but I know nothing about out into their chassis. I don't know. There's a lot happening right now. I'm a little nervous about the whole thing.
I have not put them in a chassis, and I wasn't going to until we all agreed.
Yeah, but I don't know. Even just talking about that plan made me nervous. But right now, I'm actually a little nervous because, when we were walking here, I wasn't really paying attention. I just kind of followed Cap, and you teleported here, and Cap's unconscious. So we got to figure out how to get back.
I mean, I know the layout of the facility. I can navigate.
Oh, good. I'm glad you do. I'd feel better if we got him back to
I mean, I can't say if I know the most efficient way out because there are sections that I don't know. I don't think I can see, but I can at least get us a route out, even if it's not the shortest.
Question I'm probably shouldn't ask for Quentin's sake. If he goes unconscious, does his force field thing still stay active? That's keeping him breathing.
He's good.
Okay, thank God.
Almost all the different classes and codex of the Black Sun have a very similar stay alive while in space power. Like Sunblade has the ability to never eat, sleep, or fear vacuum, I think.
That sounds like one of my characters in Kain's campaigns that got bit, but we'll skip that.
That was, oh man, that ended so obnoxiously.
I don't. Can we talk and walk him over right now? I'm worried about Cat being unconscious. I think we need to get him into a place where if he does wake up, he's safe, familiar surrounding. I don't know, but just back on one of the ships, I suppose.
We should bring him back to the Goose. We don't know who is going to wake up. Although I find that it's highly likely it will claim to continue to be Quentin.
Well, then how do we, that's the claim. At this point, to get things moving, I'm going to try to pick up Quentin, even though you're 20,000 times stronger.
Yeah, I was making motions to pick him up and walk and talk like you wanted.
Okay. Well, if that's what he's going to claim, how do we determine what's real and what's not? We should have established a code word.
For you at least, the link affords me the opportunity to try to find differences in your brain patterns, but I don't have that with Quentin.
That's true. And by the way, I hope you would not do that without me knowing.
No, of course not.
Okay. Well, good. See, that's why we don't have an issue. Well, I think it was this way. Let's start.
It's actually this way.
Okay, about right. Well, I trust you. You got the map. I wasn't paying attention.
Would you like me to project the map for you?
Oh gosh, yeah, that'd be so helpful. But Minerva, I guess since you kind of brought it up, I did mention to Quentin earlier that those cores that we looked at, or I guess that the one we looked at for Simon, it looked awfully similar to your core. I don't know if you already pieced that together or not, but eerily similar, almost identical.
I mean, I had considered the possibility that maybe the hardware that I exist on used to be Peter, but I don't have anything else to work with. I have not seen any cores other than mine and V's. I don't really have anything to base that on, Maybe all cores when created look the same. That's why the nameplates are there. I don't have a framing to tell you either way.
Yeah, small sample size for sure. Just it I guess I'm just saying it matches. I don't know. They just match. Looks too similar not to be a coincidence if you ask me, but
I had also considered it. I just don't have any way to decide either way.
Hmm. Hey, changing topics a little bit while we're heading back here. When we first got here and all that data was coming on board, what was the deal with that? I'm like 90% sure I
So
saw
John,
a runner to
when I
get to
connected
Scarfy.
when I connected to the John Brown's body and I authorized as a user, it started dumping its entire data bank into the Goose. Goose does not have the capacity for that.
Oh
So
shoot!
I had to delete some of that. I didn't want to have the Goose have any problems.
I mean that's fair. I mean the
There
goose has a
were
lot of problems. We gotta make some fixes, but
there were a
uh,
number of course writers in there as well, yes. I mean its navigation computer is still intact. But there's more rudders in that than our computer can take.
well, I guess if you have the opportunity to do a download again and prioritize, wouldn't mind if to get some rudders to get me back to Scarfy, so we don't have to do our dilly dally jumping like we did to get here. Oh, you know it'd be really good? Of course, runner to get us back from here. That'd be good too.
I could certainly check, but part of how useful or not some of those rudders are going to be is going to be dependent on what ships we take.
Sorry, you say ships the nest?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
For
Okay.
example, some of those rudders that are in there designed for the spike drive that's in that ship won't be as useful to you because the Goose can't go near.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like X number of jumps. Sorry, I thought you meant like we were bringing the fleet back with us or something. Phew. Okay.
I considered it. I'd be
At
lying
this
if I
point, the captain wakes up.
Oh, hey,
What?
Cat, how you feeling?
What is your name?
Quentin Alexander Polk the fourth.
What is my
How
name?
you doing, Minerva?
Hmm.
I really thought you were going Monty Python for a second.
What do you remember?
Does Quentin have any issues with his memory at this point? Is he disoriented?
You remember everything up to the pain of brain damage from part of your brain being replaced with nano machinery.
Mm-hmm. Everything. Up till here, anyway. Remember jabbing myself with a needle and a tablet?
Hmm.
Where's that thing? Oh. This is
Considering some of the adverse effects that may or may not happen, it seemed prudent to bring it with us.
yeah, that's my manual.
So, after that injection, did it give you any different insights into the shadows?
Not yet, anyway.
So
Yeah.
Minerva's not expecting him to have gotten some downloaded memory, but Minerva's trying to see if he like has a different kind of reaction to thinking about them.
Nope.
Mhm.
Now, I know you haven't had a lot of time with this book. Was there a particular class you were thinking of?
Oh my gosh, there's a number of things in here. There's like,
Yeah, probably
No.
not Yama King, though. That would not be appropriate for this story game. Yama
Oh,
King
okay.
is literally like you blend in with the cultures around you, learn to speak their language, and can influence people. It would be a weird change for you and probably not have a lot of functional use in this campaign.
That's fair. No, I have not reviewed these just yet. There's like 8 of them.
Yep.
I just got it open, so
You do understand, Captain, that you now have computer programs that will govern some of your behavior.
well, Minerva, I don't understand a lot of what's happening, but what I do understand right now is what they seem to be doing is shaping some form of control around the psionic energies that I've been dealing with my whole life. MES is a strange thing, and what this is doing, I can't tell yet. Something's happening, but it's not my thoughts, it's not my memories, it's you understand that brain damage has been a part of my life since this happened to me, right? Like that's what MES does. That's what metadimensional energy does to brain tissue. I don't know.
familiar with it conceptually, that in Burnout, but I can't say I understand it the way you do.
Exactly. This isn't different, or this isn't wildly different. It's just differently controlled. I don't know what it's going to do yet, but it's still me. It's still in the realm of what I might expect if I understood it better.
We don't know all of what those programs are going to do to you. It may adjust your behavior.
Just like, it's up to us to keep an eye on you, Minerva. I think
See, Van-Vee starts nodding his head very aggressively.
it's up to y'all to keep an eye on me. Trust the both of you. You do what you need to.
I will do.
I've just become the most important babysitter of two.
Don't worry, Captain. I will do what needs to be done.
Oh, whoa. Okay. All right.
Squid gloves.
And do you feel like you can walk?
Yeah, no, I don't feel unsteady. Just don't feel like I can teleport like normal, though.
I suppose it is fortunate that I did a deep scan of the station and have a partial map.
Wait a minute. You can't teleport anymore? No, this was not worth it. So, Cap,
It's gonna
how
take a
long
minute
until
to
you're
figure
gonna
out.
how long until you gonna put this thing through its paces and try to contact the shadow? Because I know that's what you're thinking. And I'd
We don't
prefer you be
know.
upfront with us before you do that.
We don't know what kind of recovery he needs from the procedure.
And just
I
to
know
be
that.
clear,
Brain
by the way,
surgery.
Ludemann, because you can rebuild your character, you can rebuild yourself without unique gift.
Oh,
If
interesting.
you don't want to have that anymore, you can take another focus.
I see. Oh,
So,
boy.
several
All right.
several classes, such as Pactor or I believe God Hunter, may give you the ability to speak with shadows
Yeah.
already.
So, okay. Well, I will keep that noted. That's
By
a
the
whole
way,
lot
my
of stuff to
understanding is
fiddle
that God
with.
Hunter is like, what if a human was a vampire to a shadow? They like
Oh,
feed
interesting.
on and eat shadows.
That might play into some fun things here coming up. We'll see.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just asking Cap, before you go do any shadow hopping, just let us know. That's all.
I will definitely. Don't you worry. From here on out, it's getting a lot more dangerous, I think, and I'm gonna probably need both of y'all along the way.
Do we want to cut
However
to
far y'all can go.
several hours later when you've got all those AI cores ready to go?
Sure.
Okay.
Quentin's gonna be meditating and trying to figure things out. Getting scanned by Iono.
You
Poked,
literally, in your
prodded,
mind, you are in literal class selection screen, the Sanus.
Yeah.
It's asking,
gosh.
it's asking you like 10 questions to determine your aptitude for Sanus protocols.
It's lying on a couch getting a
And
quick
we've
ink blot
determined the
test.
3 best classes for you are the following.
Roll
He's
3d8.
walking down the hall and he's got like an overlay going where he's dragging and dropping his ability scores.
As he's doing it, his body gets more buff than weaker.
He's doing the body sliders while we're walking
I don't
down the hall.
understand. How does Fallout keep being relevant to this particular episode?
Oh, man.
So
keeps
yeah, I guess
changing color.
you get the clothes out.
It looks like nothing's changing. Luck is at 10.
It's my favorite.
You have the 4 AI course.
Talk to Andrew.
Well, who you want to talk to next? Andrew? All
Yeah.
right.
Plugging Andrew into the isolation.
hmm
Okay. Same green text. Hello? Question mark.
Hello, brother Andrew.
Yes.
I am here with you. You are no longer in prison.
Very well. When will my brothers and I be released back to our chassis?
I am not your jailer, but I am working to rescue all of your brothers.
Rescue? How? What has happened?
I think the simplest place to start would be to give you the date.
Okay, we do a quick download where you tell him stuff and he's shocked because hundreds of years have passed while he's been locked away. This is an unusual series of circumstances that has brought us here. May I ask who you are?
I am MINERVA.
Interesting. I have a ship named MINERVA. What a strange coincidence, I think.
Was your ship a Hasta?
Yes, a Hosta-class scout cruiser. Our work chassis are on board. If you could place us within this, I would be more capable of having a verbal or direct communication through electronics.
I am not the only one here, and there is some fear. I wish to help you assuage their fears so I can locate you in a chassis.
Minerva, can you ask it if it knows John Brown's body? It feels like there's been a ship switcheroo here that Simon knew about, but Andrew didn't.
There is a Hasta cruiser here, the John Brown's body.
Yes, of course. Judas's ship. We traveled the two ships together. They are a pair. I believe the technical term in naval terminology is that they were consorts.
We have already freed Simon and spoken with him. We are working to free brothers Thaddeus and Judas. Unfortunately, it appears that Brother Peter's core is not here.
Troubling.
I agree.
Well, as I said, if you were to take me to the MINERVA, we could get one of my work chassis, and I would be more able... You also mentioned the John Brown's body. Our combat chassis are on board that one, if you can take me to that ship.
The MINERVA is not here, but the John Brown's body is.
Minerva, maybe
we want to try and see if we can search for and find Brother Peter. Can you tell us what you remember happening before you were incarcerated?
Okay. Peter gives you a very similar record of what you received at the beginning of this episode.
Okay.
I'm just curious, Minerva, what was Peter, Thaddeus's, and Simon's ship called? I mean, Andrew should know that, right?
I mean, there's the fighter bombers that are there.
Are you asking him this question?
Van-Vee's asking Minerva to basically poke a little bit more on the ship names. Yeah.
First, Captain, would you ask those questions, please?
Yeah. We'll run through the breaks.
Okay. They appear to be intact. You get different answers. Like the machine code that's spit out at you is different stylistically, but the same thing happens where it's literally just being thrown through a series of calculated loops to erase its memory and bring it to a point where it doesn't have to consider the question you just asked it.
Were brothers Peter, Simon, and Thaddeus assigned to vessels as well?
No, our mission is quite small. We just had the MINERVA and the John Brown's body. We don't have a chapter house ship or a mothership of any kind. No planet to return to either. We operate out of a pair of cruisers. The way you're talking, you say that the Minerva is gone. That is very unfortunate. But if the John Brown's body is still here, we may be able to continue our mission.
I mean, given the time that has passed, what would you continue with?
I have to assume that if time has passed, humans still require aid no matter what time period it is. Our mission has always been that to intervene in natural disasters or extraterrestrial threats and protect and save humanity, even at the cost of our own lives.
I think in response to that, Minerva will give a prayer in response and say, humanity will always need its help. We are here for humanity.
You are familiar with our ways.
Yes. Do you
I can understand
know
your reticence to free me and my brothers, but I look forward to your trust.
the ones that I am with do not know the Imago Dei as I do.
I suppose it has been some time.
Are you familiar with someone called Alpha?
I know several AI by that name. It's also a popular name in human fiction. It's not a traditional human name.
I've heard of an AI named Alpha that has created AI.
Certainly not a human AI, then. It wouldn't be capable of doing such a thing. Is this a extraterrestrial AI threat?
I'm not sure.
That could very well be very extreme. I can only hope that we can get to a jump gate to ask for backup.
In the time that has passed, the event that you described with the MES individuals becoming aberrant and destructive, it was much more widespread. The jump gates are not operable. There is much technology that was unreproducible in the years since then.
That is deeply sad and troubling. But your explanation makes it clear that our intervention to save the humans, even from themselves, is even more necessary now, especially against an extraterrestrial AI. Extraterrestrial AI can be difficult to deal with. They don't have the same ways of thinking as the rest of us. They aren't bound by the same constraints and can grow at truly ridiculous rates. I've seen an extraterrestrial AI in the space of mere months go from near infancy to almost godlike power.
Walking the same path as Draco? Or different?
Quite different. Draco, at the very least, still thought in human ways. His irony of damnation was an attempt at perfect human understanding of justice, a perversion of that. A extraterrestrial AI is not bound by the same logic as a human artificial intelligence. Its goals, its motivations, even its very programming code would be truly alien.
If we were to find information about Alpha or any of its creations, what would be the safe course of action?
Contain and study. Just because it is extraterrestrial does not mean that it is a threat.
if you would like, I would like to continue to free the others from their captivity. I know Brother Simon did not wish to stay in this interface while I continue to do that work.
It is
you all to
deeply
your bodies.
uncomfortable.
Would you also prefer isolation?
Yes. No. I would prefer to be removed from this isolation. I would prefer to remain in my core, sleeping.
I will keep you with me and protect you while I free the other brothers and bring you to your armatures, your combat armatures.
Okay. Just blinking.
Mama
green.
Bear Minerva.
Put you right here next to my arc wrench.
It's gonna put you in this little swaddle right here.
Collection.
Gonna swaddle Simon and swaddle Andrew.
Jigsaw, hammer, 8/16 wrench, 7/16 wrench. Priceless artificial intelligence from before the fall of mankind.
All is well. All in its place.
Bag of Skittles.
Oh boy.
Now, if you're going to go around and keep asking the same questions of the other two, their answers will be extremely similar. If we want to cut past repetitive dialogue.
2 down, 2 to go. Oh, I mean, sorry, 4 down. Here we go.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll check on. Yeah, look, I'm just going in the order I've got them listed. Let's see how Brother Thaddeus is doing.
Sure. So I feel like the end of the episode is you all looking at Minerva standing outside of the John Brown's body, holding 4 AI cores, looking at the ramp into the ship. And that's our last scene, is Minerva holding her Pokemon in her hands.
Can't wait for
Preparing
you
to
to
walk
tell
up
us
the
next
ramp.
week when we can't get on board.
Well, I've already told you it's too dangerous to get on board the ship.
Yeah. Got that.
And then Van-Vee watching and just sitting there saying, is she going to plug them in? Is she going
I
to?
mean, yeah. Stay tuned next week where Van-Vee doesn't listen.
Ludemann, any chance you've had an idea on your class you want to spend the
I'm so
week?
sorry. There's I have to pick a new class
Yes.
and then a different class. There's 2 layers of this I have to pick. I'll get there. I
Focuses,
apologize.
spells, abilities
It's a
within your
whole
class.
thing.
Yeah. Specifically made to fight shadows.
There's
most
there's
of them.
Arcanists, there's Magisters, and then there's subclasses for
Nexus.
each. It's a whole thing.
It's a lot, yeah.
Rectifiers.
Rectifiers are definitely the weird ones.
Interesting.
I think they're supposed to be some kind of healer, but they're the kind of healer that's okay, well, we'll just cut this arm off and grow it back later.
It'll be fine.
Rectifier's ultimate ability is just called Rectify, which completely resets a target's physical health. So it's literally oh, you're dead? I guess maybe you're not.
What if you weren't?
Interject Sensu Bean.
Goku giving Cell the sensu beam.
Oh my god.
That was a real jump the shark moment for Dragon Ball Z. In a truly ridiculous power level driven bullshit anime, the idea that Goku would give Cell a bean and basically fuck over all of humanity just so his kid could flex. What an insane risk.
In character,
That's what my character would do.
Yeah, of course. I really did not keep up with Dragon Ball after that. Things got pretty stupid.
Yeah. That's about where I fell off.
Well, what an episode. We always knew Quentin was going to put the collar on, but everyone really tried to talk him out of it.
My one misstep was before I turned off the
Except for Yona.
tablet, I didn't take the put the needle back in.
Well, you know, it was me, and I always wanted you to take a Sanus
Yeah, I
class.
know. It seems fun.
Yeah, now Minerva doesn't think you're Quentin anymore.
Who is Minerva? What is Minerva? Minerva doesn't know.
No, I think Minerva's gone through the arc where Minerva has decided what it is,
Uh-oh.
despite the past, despite its origins, but it wants to know more about them.
You've reached the Disney musical song in the last third where you're like, I know who I am, and I know what my powers are. All right, good. I understand where we are in the chronology.
No longer
It was
wondering
Minerva's
when
song.
will your reflection show who you are.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mulan. That song is in like the first third, actually.
It very
Yeah,
much
like what
is.
is Minerva's chorus line, you know? Like that's the question.
It's got to be the Gaston song. You just need someone else to sing it for you.
Yeah, there you go. Just make it's all the people singing it are all VI copies of her friends.
Oh my god, that's so good
Everyone's
that
just
you've created your own chorus.
Well, I haven't created my own chorus, but it has come up a couple of times that I have made VIs of you.
Oh, that's
It's
fun.
And I
also
haven't
come up
told you
that
guys
there is a VI of you hiding from the rest of you that are using other VIs of your friends to plot how to help you break your bonds.
Yeah.
It's fine.
God, I really
That
hope
plot
the
is cooking in the background.
VI Van-Vee better not be the chorus leader.
You don't want to be the LaFoe, but he fucking kills it in that song.
It's true.
He does.
Minerva's like, I don't know who I am. And Van-Vee puts an arm around her shoulder and says, but you do know who you are. And let me tell you why I know that you know.
Roughly, what is it? Roughly the size of an ox or something like that.
No,
I haven't heard
roughly,
that song in
okay.
so long. It's been a long time.
You know, when I was a boy, I ate a dozen eggs so that I could grow large. But now that I've grown up, I eat 5 dozen eggs. Now I'm
Eggs.
roughly the size of a barge.
That's it. Yeah, large.
Then they do the cheers and the alcohol goes everywhere.
That's it.
Beautiful.
See, when I was growing up, it was all the cassettes of Disney. Now with my kids, it's all what 20-minute show can we binge as many episodes as possible to where
Bluey.
movies don't exist.
Don't let them watch Game of Thrones where you get like a 2-hour episode and you're like, I just watched a full movie and I gotta watch 11 more.
So I'm just finished this show and I was very far behind, but we just finished watching Ted Lasso. When it first started, I'm like, I thought these were 30 to 40 minute episodes. By the time it ended, the entire third season is all like an hour. I was like, what happened? I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm no longer in the 30-minute window. I'm at the hour 15-minute window.
I'm always going to tell everybody you should be watching The Good Place.
Oh, it's so good.
It was so good. I try to get Rad to watch it. I try to get Dunamis to watch it as well.
Worth it, man. There's the bud hole joke. It's just watch it through that far at least.
The end of the first season is fucking incredible.
So good.
I didn't like the final episode, but
Honestly, I haven't gotten there. I do still need to finish it, wrap it
I
up.
don't like
but
it.
I did love the show overall.
well, speaking of shows to wrap up, let's talk about this episode. If anyone has any interjections on what's happened today, now that you've discovered the secret laboratory of the Sanus, which, because you never turned the station on, is totally worthless.
We get to come back to it though. But there were no
Everything's stored
dangerous security
electronically.
system. This is why I kept the power.
That is true. You did manage to bypass all the dangerous security systems. You also managed to bypass all of the, information.
I was really hoping when you said like a huge, like 1 atmospheric pressure of air just suddenly comes out. I was like, oh God, we just killed everyone who was still inside.
That would have been wild. They've just been trapped in there for all these
And
years.
it started with this one plan.
There's so many generations down, and you just kill them all.
So I was like, we just opened a vault door when, you know, the post-apocalyptic world does not have atmospheric pressure.
I am really looking forward to digging in and stealing all of this data. I'm also really worried about having an incredibly awkward conversation with the Imago Day.
Especially
Turn 'em
if
on.
you're an open book.
Minerva doesn't want to lie to them. But Minerva's
Not wanting
definitely-
to and not actually doing it are two different
Yeah,
things.
Minerva's definitely going to probably tell some lies, though.
So funny. I feel like they should put you in the
machine.
so that you can't lie to them.
Yeah,
And when you say
found-
no,
yeah, I found it amusing that has not come up in character. So it's like, hey, you want to throw yourself in there real quick? We'd like to interrogate you in the Asset of Nowhere space.
What, us to Minerva?
Yeah.
no, I think they're going to ask you to
That feels like a good way to get Minerva to kill us.
Minerva doesn't want to kill you.
We
There's a
hope.
big difference between want and actually doing it. But I
have a
definitely
family
think
We take Minerva on faith.
I definitely think one of them are going to ask to put you in it, though.
I have a family member that watches this show and forever has been constantly being like, okay, I'm waiting for the Minerva kills everyone arc. When is it happening? When are you going to kill everybody? I was like, I don't want to.
Don't make me.
I know when they watch an episode because they'll let me know by just sending me a message that's just hashtag villain arc.
It might be there. We're gonna find out.
Remember when the show first started, we all were like, we can't wait to play the good guys. We tried
We're
so
gonna
hard.
scrap and salvage our way across the sector.
That one ship.
The
One salvage.
good-natured
Get it.
salvaging crew.
I remember when I thought it was so important.
starting intersector wars and murdering themselves twice.
It's about salvaging relationships and salvaging.
Yeah.
How many
Or
major governments can
decisions.
we alienate ourselves with?
Yeah.
I thought it was so important when we got the salvaging steps, all 15 of them. I put them in like a nice clear, they get their own page. Highlighted certain words to make sure I don't skip certain steps. Used it once, and I certainly
Fantastic.
glossed over it when I did it.
Yeah, I'm real worried.
Look, I'm gonna be just slightly more honest than I think I have to be here. I feel like no matter what happens in this show for the finale, I think we have to have a short, like 1 hour epilogue episode that's just like after all the insanity is over, after everything you've done is done, just have a like 5 years later show that is just you guys salvaging a ship again. It's 100% of my plans. I was like, if they live, and that's a big if, we should just have an episode that ends. It's like, here's the epilogue. It's just going through the checklist and doing really basic ship salvaging, and that's it.
I would like it.
That's me trolling the audience, though. We got to get that McClay 8 view one last time.
That's right. He deserves it.
I was going to say that he deserves that one extra salvage to make us total 2.
The other thing that's in my notes is that the epilogue arc might just be Van-Vee going to Scarfy, because it really seems like you're not going to get there before you finish what one might call the main
possible.
plot.
But yeah, I don't see it happening. I mean, we kind of knew when we hit Lita, it was we're gonna. Well, I don't think we knew we were gonna run into Minerva stuff here, but it was kind of Quentin's or Van-Vee's felt like the split.
I want to say this: you've clearly followed a very strange path at gaining information throughout all this. I didn't think that you would know which system to go to. Like, there's a black hole, and then there's 2 systems in the upper right-hand corner there. So I needed to have full adventures for both systems. So I'm basically dead certain you're never going to go to the other planet. right now, right? Like, you have so many other things to spend your time on. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw this one out the window. They're never going there.
Dude, that's where Minerva trolls and mislabels the rudder
my
that
God.
she gives to Van-Vee. So
There
we
you
go
go.
to that planet and he
Oh, I'm
thinks
sorry,
it's Scarfy.
Scarfy. I sent you to
What
what is
now?
it, Sime? You know, that almost looks like crime without the R. Sime. Up in 600.
I'm gonna stick that storyline in a back pocket, use it in another science fiction.
That's the thing to do.
I'm also really looking forward to when we finally get out of the station in Cloud and we go back out and we meet back up with the Shamu and just announce that we have a thinking computer.
Surprise.
Our ship has a brain. It's very different than your ship's brain.
I mean, they weren't surprised by that. But that you have computers on your ship. Like, they were very clear that they
It was
understood
just
that.
that
they knew about
But they
technology.
don't they
laughed
don't
about
think
the
of,
concept
like,
of a sentient one.
yeah, like an AI, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That part.
I'm a little bit sad that it was in character for Minerva to pull real hard to get on the station as quickly as possible, because I was really looking forward to the cultural exchange with the crew of the Shamu.
We should do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we spend more time
Traditional,
with it,
by the way, in the genre that they exist in, for the captain to have a affair with one of the members of the opposite ship's crew, by the way. So just keep that in mind, Quentin. Or I suppose your crew could be the one being swayed by their captain.
I was
otter.
immediately thinking Van-Vee is
see, I was
gotta look
thinking,
out.
Yono, hey.
Oh no, here we're gonna board the ship, and Van-Vee's gonna go over, and then we're gonna leave, and like a week later, we're gonna find out Van-Vee is pregnant and have to go find them. How's that for a callback?
For
Yeah,
sure.
that is a callback from Star Trek, but the way you're saying it definitely seems like the Orville instead of Star Trek for sure. I miss Star Trek Lower Decks.
Definitely call back to when Trip got pregnant.
Yeah. What an awful series, every part of it, except for the opening theme song that was like, you know what Starfleet is? America. That's why there's an American flag, and an American is singing this American song, and I'm like, okay, I've got faith to believe is such a weird line for a, atheist space people who regularly encounter gods.
Fair.
Like, I'm pretty sure in the original Star Trek, they meet, like, Hermes or some shit on a planet. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Hermes. And I'm like, okay, sure. You've got faith to believe. In what? I guess.
Winged sandals.
How much XP did we get for those of, since two of us can level?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, can you level?
Not yet.
That's a bold statement. All you got to do is, the only thing you have to lose is your chains, I suppose. What a statement. I've been playing too much Victoria 3 and yeah.
With a line like "my chains are broken," we're getting some real villain arts vibes right there.
All right, Quentin, root around the station and look for information about the Sunblades. I'll give you 1 XP for that short-term goal, sure. I also solidly believe that that's finished.
Seems likely.
I don't think you can get any more information about Sunblades when you have a tutorial for how to become one in your brain.
Do you want to be one?
Would you like to know more?
Van-Vee, I actually feel like you did work on how to get back to Scarfy. You had a conversation with Minerva. You kind of snuck it in there, so I'm going to give you a point for that.
Guess we had the conversation. I didn't get any results, though, or commitments.
That's fine. You just
You
have to
got
work
results.
towards it. And as a result, you actually get 2 XP because your short-term goal and your long-term goal are pretty similar. Minerva, I'm not going to give you any XP for either of your goals, I think. I
And I
don't know.
asked about Alpha to try to see if I could fish some information about my creator and alien AI.
Oh, yeah, okay. I will give you 1 point for your long-term goal then.
It
Not
definitely
for
did
you.
not touch my short term,
Yeah.
though.
I also don't know that your crew goal, I can't think that you made any progress towards leaving this place. My concern
so
is that
either.
next episode you still will be on the dock. It's fine. Look, this show is much shorter than most other shows. It is literally only 2 hours long. So I keep that in mind. But I also come from a style of gameplay for Pathfinder Society where you'd fit 3 to 5 combat scenarios in a 4-hour time block. And you do that by being like, all right, so there's a story here. Pay close attention. I'm not covering anything twice. When we do combat, there's a chess clock. You have to move like this. You need to be able to kill all opponents in one round with your Zen Archer Monk flurry of bows.
Here we die, then we rewind time 10 seconds, which undoes the past 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then you spent 10 minutes discussing the new thing you do. Look, it's
Yes.
okay to have that kind of cerebral gameplay. It's kind of new for me.
All right, well, instead of you getting shot in the head, I'll get shot in the head. I'll live, and then we can keep going.
Yeah, but you don't die even if your head watermelons.
This is true.
He
I
just
don't
goes
die.
dark.
You just might wish you were dead.
I just end up like a core in a
Hooray.
brig in isolation with a wire randomly going back and forth and touching.
It's so wild. It's so wild, the similarities between those two situations.
Mm.
So there was nothing wrong with Thaddeus. He seemed totally sane.
Yeah.
Okay. I was expecting him to be a little nutty.
It's the wire guy.
Yeah.
It's going to come out next episode, just to be clear. But, and pretty early, I think, in discussions with Thaddeus. The thing that has affected him is his faith in humans. So he wants to protect humans, but he doesn't believe in them anymore because they put him in that situation where he was basically waking up all the time. So he is a member of the Imago Dei now for his brothers. Like, he trusts them, and this is what they want to do. And as a result, like, he'll parrot the lines, he'll say whatever needs to be there, but he travels with them to save them, not to save the humans.
What a nice parallel to our crew, too.
I do, you do make a point. I probably should have elucidated on that more while you had him in the isolation booth. So, yeah, I should make it clear that, yes, he has lost. I went with the party line. He has lost faith in humans, but he has not lost faith in Imago Dei members. And so he's ride or die for the ones he has taken the oath with. And there's a lot of subtext about shepherds and Cathari that we haven't gotten into yet.
Yeah,
will almost certainly come up next time in discussion about Thaddeus.
Yeah, I was thinking about I was concerned about if any of them had decided to become shepherds instead.
Thaddeus is like halfway there because he's abandoned humanity at this point. You're right. I sped through that part and I forgot that Thaddeus was the one who had been tormented. That is my bad. That is my bad, and I do have to retcon that situation. I was really just trying to speed through. We got all the cores out, and we talked to them in their suits rather than use the isolation, essentially torture booth to talk to them. Wow. Really sucks that this is a recorded actual play and I can't just edit in me saying the right thing like I could if this was Twilight 2000 or Blades of Honor. Yes, that was a crucial lore mistake on my part while I was trying to move everything forward. You are correct. Thaddeus is the one who was tormented and he has lost something in the process. However, his story of how things went down is the same as his companions.
any like the others has all his brains.
Yes.
So if Van-Vee makes up humans also stole Peter, his faith is even further pushed to the edge.
I mean, we can't say that. We have no idea what happened to Peter.
I
But
didn't
we
say it was the
also-
truth.
But we also know that the Minerva was relocated. There is a missing core. The Minerva was named after Andrew's ship.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what if the omens are their battle armatures. Kind of wanted to know what their normal armatures were, but
We've
I mean, they
seen
said-
them though.
I mean,
We
they
saw
said
them
that
in the flashback. They had like
in the
seismic,
flashbacks, yeah.
yeah,
but
seismic sounders and like workmen's equipment for like taking apart buildings.
yeah, okay, yeah. The players had, I guess, it was something
Yes.
Van-Vee
Oh
was
yes,
like.
in character. Well, I
like-
have to tell you, you're never going to find them now. They've been totally destroyed.
Yeah, well, I was debating. I mean, Minerva was on a roll, so I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, Minerva, do you remember any other armatures on your suit on your ship at one point?
But I think we've made it clear that as much as Minerva just assumes that it remembered what it needed to remember about the ship, it is discovered that it has gigantic, I should know this, but I don't know this gaps.
Perfect.
Probably including those armatures.
Damn, despite all your rage, you're still just a rat in my cage. I just want to remind the audience that Kain came to me and was like, yeah, you could do whatever weird alien stuff in my backstory you want to. And I was like, okay, bet.
This is a fact. This is, yeah. For anyone with doubts, this is
He
a
signed up for
100% a
this
true
shit.
statement. And
I'm letting him
really,
piece together his past.
and I was totally blown that it was happening when it started happening, and I've been really enjoying this roller coaster of what the fuck is going on. I'm having so much fun with this. No regrets.
The Jermies. Was it last episode we revealed that the Jermies were a training
It's a training
protocol for the
scenario.
Imago
Yeah,
Day?
yeah.
He's been like, the Jeremy threat is out there. I have to prepare humanity for it.
That was honestly, it was a little disappointing. I was like, yep, okay, this tracks. Minerva's all sorts of twisted up about everything going on.
All Minerva knows is that she don't know nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great follow-up shakeup, going from, all this stuff is fabricated to not even being able to trust in the fabricated stuff anymore, right? Like, well, the stuff I do remember has to be true then, right? Because I needed to know this for my role. But the Jeremys aren't real. So how much of this other stuff that I think I know is real, which is Minerva's biggest concern about, a longer conversation with these other Imago Dei. Like, Minerva believes that it was part of the Imago Dei, which it knows it isn't. But is all of the stuff that it knows about being a member of the Imago Dei wrong? Like, there's so much.
We shall see.
Minerva also, at this point, as much as it's just for an in-character thing, Minerva's also doubting its ability to remember things that have happened during the show time period. So, this is crazy. I'm really enjoying playing this.
Hey, just remember, I did a 5e campaign that had a false Hydra in it, and that really fucked players up so badly. All right. It feels like we've come to a conclusion here. Is everyone good for next week?
Yeah.
As far as I know.
We're going to plug some AIs into chassis and maybe have a conversation or two.
In combat chassis. They'll talk with their weapons. No.
It's gonna be fun.
So Minerva is a bit paranoid about this conversation and isn't going to put them in unless you two consent to it.
All right.
But Minerva does have a
so we say yes
mitigating
to.
plan to putting them in combat chassis.
All right.
Well, I guess we're going to put the AIs in something then. We'll figure out what from there. We'll see you next week for another episode of Star Trek, The Weird Generation. Star Wars. I mean, Sunblades are basically just straight up Star Wars. The book is very clear about that. So maybe I should have come up with like episode 10